Hello, hello. At long last, we are back with a new chapter of One Piece. The last 3 weeks have been very turbulent for me and my personal life. All good stuff, really, but man, it feels like even way longer than 3 weeks with just the amount of stuff I've been doing. You can see it was my birthday, and I also got a haircut, and then there's a bunch of other stuff. But who cares? What we got now is the latest chapter of One Piece. It has returned to us at long last. This is 1112, 1112 hard aspects. And let's just plunge right into it. Like, there's a lot of stuff we could discuss, a lot of stuff we could speculate on, but I'm just so eager to read a new chapter. On our cover page, we have Yamato. As you can have that parting gift, Yamato, as long as you do something for me. Okay. So Yamato wants to be like Odin and travel through all of Wano and visit all the different towns, prefectures, everybody, see everybody, do everything. This was a very formative experience for Odin. And Yamato, as kind of somebody who's like skinwalking Odin, he wants to have the exact same life that Odin had. Hopefully avoiding some of the more grotesque, gruesome aspects, like getting boiled alive. Is setting out on a similar quest, and Kinemon, we can see on here, yeah, this is like money. I'm pretty sure what it says on there is like silver or something. It's hard to tell exactly. It's like using old Japanese kanji writing techniques. So Yamato can get some money as long as he does something for Kinemon. And we will find out what that is in subsequent chapters. But meanwhile, shit is getting crazy. Shit is getting really crazy. The five emperors are all fighting, like violently, really fighting, not just pulling the strings behind the scenes. I already forget all their names. I'm so sorry. The one that kind of looks like Gandhi, galloping around as this like horse of death, taking out pacifistas trivially. The Navy bombardment continues. They're trying to stop Bonnie at all costs. This is a pretty reasonable observation that Bonnie is, in fact, just a 12-year-old girl, despite using her fruit to age herself up a little bit. And it is kind of crazy that Vegapunk was just like, yeah, at her whim, she can have one of the most powerful military forces in the world. Just do whatever. The Vikings starting to leave. Here we see another shot of Egghead revealing a giant bottle-looking building that says Punk. That's awesome. I assume it's like a building that just looks like a bottle. It might actually be a giant bottle of something. There is still kind of one major mystery remaining with Egghead, which is the whole idea of the Mother Flame, which is some sort of crazy energy source that they use to power, presumably, the ancient weapon that wiped, what was that place called? Lufthansa or something off the map, just kind of trivially. And that was why they wanted to find York and make sure York was still alive as the betraying aspect of Vegapunk that they hoped would lead them to the Mother Flame. Otherwise, I think they would be content just completely nuking the entire island. But that's like the main thing they want from there. So when I see a weird building like this, I'm just trying to connect the dots. I'm trying to figure out where these final things could be lurking. This is still down on the Fabio phase, though. I would imagine it's up in the Labo phase. I don't know. Trying to sink the Elbaf ship. I don't think it's going to happen. We see a showdown between this guy, Red King, who is based on a Ultraman character, apparently. I read that in the comments. Frankie fucks him up. I would imagine that all of the Straw Hats now, if not in just like raw fighting ability, have the tactics and know-how and trickery to go head-to-head with a Vice Admiral. So that's awesome to see. Okay, everybody's making their mad scramble to the shore. Bonnie instantly de-aging this person back down to a kid and then kicking the kid in the face. This just looks wrong. It's true. Her whole strategy is fighting little kids. Ah, yes, yes. And then, of course, this is the most pressing message. Will Vegapunk's Dead Man's Switch be released to the world? Will he be able to say everything he wants to about the secrets of the world? Or will he just sit there waiting for his coffee to cool, assuming that his audience, of which he knows nothing, is dutifully setting up their video transponders? It's all so... we talked about this before, this whole kind of like arbitrary delay. Oh, well, will we hear the message or will we not? Because all of this nonsense has to happen first. It seems kind of like schlocky or whatever. But it really leans into Vegapunk's charm as this eccentric old man scientist who's a little doddering and is genius but doesn't always think things through, a real absent-minded professor. Because they could have had the exact same storytelling mechanism, and it's just like, oh, Vegapunk had this Dead Man Switch, but it will only start transmitting after 10 minutes, because all these internal mechanisms need to, like, spin up. And that's, equally believable, maybe less, like, infuriating, but it doesn't have that kind of character and charm to it. Anyways, yeah, so... having secured York, they're trying to figure out where the transmission is coming from. Hide the transmission transponder sail, emitting the message somewhere. Chain reaction throughout the lab that blows up Punk Records itself. Yeah, so York still doesn't want to destroy the whole lab, and presumably this Quetzalcoatl monster, whose name I forget already, sorry, doesn't want to either because they want the Mother Flame, and there's probably some other military secrets and stuff that they'd like to extract. But yeah, it's like weird to me that York doesn't know. I don't know if it's because the kind of shared intellect and memories and processing power of the Stella system isn't like truly comprehensive. And just because one of them knows something doesn't mean that everyone will know something. Or it could be like, they cut York out after her betrayal. They were able to do something to deny her access to these neural pathways and stuff. If I had crime upon crime, only make it hard to get along with you folks. Okay, it seems like she knows where it is. It was gonna come right down to the wire. They should have been transmitting already. So yeah, this is Stussy, CP0 agent, double, triple, quadruple agent, hanging out with Kaku, who's recovering after getting his ass whooped. Okay, but Stussy, loyal in the end to Vegapunk, is doing the final job. Now, could this be the final transmission? I don't know. It must be something to do with the transmission, something to do with securing it. Maybe doing something to make sure that the transmission snail can't be messed with. Oh, okay. So she's undoing the barrier. She's going to let the barrier down for just like the one frame so that they can get out. Yeah, lowering the frontier door has to happen at the commander room. Sure. Makes sense. This is, kind of a situation that has appeared in One Piece a few times. Someone makes the valiant sacrifice to stay behind and ensure that other people can leave via fending off attacks or some sort of mechanism like this. Ship's guaranteed to land on solid ground now. Going by classical mechanics. Oh, it's time to use some unconventional mechanics. We're going to go from the Newtonian to the Einsteinian. perhaps. I have no idea what that would mean in practice. So yeah, how do they launch the ship from here into the water? It must be hard to be your ship. Yep. Make sure your ship touches down in water. Trust me. What the heck? What did he do? Why did he do that? He just jumped off. He knows it won't kill him. He didn't do this to kill himself. He also thinks he'll survive, but there's some scientific knowledge he meant to glean from jumping off the edge like that. To see the trajectory the ship is going to have? I don't know. That seems weird to me. That seems very weird to me. Okay, but whatever. Whoa. The big sandworm. Trying to suck them in. Luffy throws a building at it. Pretty beast. This poor sandworm is suffering so much, but I mean, it regenerates, so they have the Imba regeneration power. Hey, where's the giant ancient robot, too? This is the area that it should be warming up and rampaging around in, right? Ooh. Fermented shark. This is, of course, kind of a Greenland, Iceland, these extremely northern Nordic countries produce a dish. I can't think of what it's called in real life. It might be called Hakarl. It's something kind of like that, where they take like a dead shark, and they just like bury it in the ground until it ferments, and it gets this really intense, sulfury, almost like iodine type chemical taste that is apparently like so overwhelming that your eyes just water in the presence of it. And this is considered kind of a regional specialty and somewhat of a delicacy. And I really want to try it. I don't know if I would like it. I'm not going to go so far as to say, yeah, that sounds delicious. But there must be something to it. There must be something that I think is very unique. And as, you know, kind of a food-motivated, food-obsessed person, I'm always trying to expand my food horizons. I'm always trying to have things that aren't similar at all to anything I've had before. And that seems like maybe the best example. Okay. Your body works is so simple. This is so great. Like, we knew this to be the case ever since very, very, very early One Piece, that if Luffy eats, he gets better. But now it feels like so kind of like formally codified. And that makes things exciting. It makes Sanji, you know, one of the most important people in the crew, to get his rations in place. It makes sort of a very clean, simple dynamic to how the fights are going to play out. It re-raises the question of who gave him food, you know, maybe 8 or 9 chapters ago when he was lying desolate. Was it Kizaru? What does that mean? How did they know that that would rejuvenate him? Is this a property of the sun god Nika? We don't know. But I just love this idea of a hero that fights until he's tired and then eats until he's fine. Alright, smacking the boar. He's not like wincing. He's not taking a whole lot of damage. He got knocked down, but he's not beat up. Oda is, you know, very specific and deliberate with how he, like, frames these things and how he indicates. So this is not a debilitating attack by any stretch. Ooh, and his hand, like, shatters against the rocky facade of this boar. This is so fun that the giants are here to, like, offer commentary and fight alongside him. Because these are, like, giant foes, you know? Not just in the sense that they're huge, but this is, like, the sort of scary primordial creature that I think the giants occupied themselves with fighting over their long pirating career. Whoa. And then here comes St. J. Garcia climbing up to where the Sunny is. And then a giant toppled by the guy who looks like Gandhi. This is looking bad for our heroes. We're set up that we're observing everybody in kind of these unwinnable fights that nobody knows how to take down the five Elder Stars. They just regenerate endlessly, and at the very end, the transmission about to be cut. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's suddenly not looking so hot for our heroes. I wanted to make a video sometime during this break that kind of breaks down my future One Piece predictions and kind of where I see the series going as a whole and what I think is likely and unlikely. And I'd still kind of like to do that because this didn't really change drastically how I think things are going to play out. But yeah, I just got so busy. It just ended up being a very busy 3 weeks. I don't know, is there a chapter next week, or is there another break? I'm not sure. I think there is very frequent breaks scheduled right now, which is, you know, we can't begrudge Oda even slightly for such a thing. I think this long break was excellent because obviously his number one mentor and inspiration in the world of manga, and somebody who kind of set out the form of the genre that Oda stepped into, Akira Toriyama, passed away a very untimely, tragic death, and I'm sure that shook Oda to his core, and I'm really glad that he took an extended break to recuperate and get his head around that, and kind of, you know, remotivate himself and such, because I'm sure that's so devastating to know that somebody that you grew up as a huge fan of had now become a fan of you and was reading your work, and for that one reader to disappear, even though there's millions of other readers, I'm sure is so devastating. So I think he should just take all the breaks he wants. If we get, you know, 10 more One Piece chapters this year, sure, then we'll enjoy those 10 chapters. We're in the end game now. Shit's getting crazy. Everything that has been built up for the last, like, 30 years... not quite 30, 27 years is coming to fruition. And I think we need to just kind of settle into that. And it's not about getting it all out as quickly as possible. It's about doing it in a way that he'll be satisfied with. And this is a pretty sick, nasty chapter. There's a lot of really cool shots in this one, man. The design of the five Elder Stars is so freaky. All right. See you in a week or maybe 2 weeks. Bye-bye.